What's up, guys? What's up? Hope you guys are having a great day. Did some rough layouts here, trying to push it back a little bit so I can start properly shadowing it. And hope you guys are doing wonderful. Happy pre-Thanksgiving. What's up, Andre? Hope you're doing good, brother. All right. Let's see. All right, looks like my head's going to get in the way. This is a splash page, of course. Um, Oh, yeah, this one's I'm just working on uh, splash page design for one of the characters from Cycle of the Blood Moon. Yeah, boy. What's up, Mr. James? Bob's big boy. Jocks. Yeah. Gotta make them howl. What we got doesn't make a difference if we make it or not. At each other, that's a lot for love. Yeah, boy. This is a big boy. Grr, grr. He's a dinosaur. Yeah. Yeah, I've been working on commission stuff this morning, some cover stuff, and then I was like, you know what? I want to work on some of my stuff. It is damn pre-holiday evening, So I was like, I want to work on some of my stuff. Hold on, what we got? Grrr. Oh, awesome, awesome. What's up, Brian? Ah, awesome, awesome. What's up, Danny? What's up, everybody? What's up, Brandon? All right. Let me see how I can do this where I don't smear shit every damn where. Yeah, boy. Ah, very cool. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, you got to try to make time every once in a while to work on some personal projects. Like I said, I've got some cover stuff that are due, not due, but I'm working on, and then I got some commissions and things like that. But they can kind of chill for today. I mean, I'll work on them some more tomorrow while you guys are having Thanksgiving. I'll be working. So, something like that. Or I don't know. I may change his hand. I'm not super sold on that hand. I mean, more of this will get darkened in once I kind of figure out exactly where I want all my shapes to be. Oh, no problem. Yeah, I figure most people's probably off till Monday. Yeah, I got to figure out what I want to do with that hand. I'm not 100%. I'm just not sold on that. It's just too plain looking. So I'll worry about those more towards the end. Because a lot of him is black. I definitely want that knee kind of shown a little, you know. Because all that is pretty much black. We'll even darken in a little bit of that in there to explain. This is a big boy. And I know I want this giant ass moon. Wrote the book on plain. Still here to explain. Because all of that is kind of what that'll do. I just kind of want to get an idea of where those. So that'll be something like that, you know. Yeah. So it'll be something like that. Ooh, gotta get the wolf man. So this is another one. This is I guess I need to put his name on here so I don't forget it. This is Jeremiah. He's one of the lichens. He's actually one of the bad lichens who's actually trying to help the witches resurrect that, blood god. I just got to figure out what I want to do with his hands. I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. Well, it's more or less I don't know what I want to do with his fingers. I don't want to just put him in like a normal pose. Like I kind of want some kind of pose that's more menacing. Shit, I may change. I don't know. I may change his arm altogether, but Hi, James. Have a good day, brother. Don't forget, everybody. That leg just looks odd to me. We only have like 1 day left on the Kickstarter. So if you guys haven't had a chance to something more like that, I think makes sense. Yeah, make sure you guys go back it if you haven't had a chance to yet. Oh, man. Yeah, something like that. What's up, Cameron? Yep, happy Thanksgiving Eve to everybody. See, I'm getting back to my old bread and butter. This is what I drew when I was a kid. This is what I drew a lot of: werewolves and things that go bump in the night. This is the stuff that I did a lot of when I was a kid and a teenager and young adult when I was still drawing. I drew a lot of uh, of werewolves and stuff like that. Vampires and werewolves and that was my bread and butter. Yeah, boy, I got to figure out what I want to do with his hands because I'm not uh, sure what I want to do with that. I got to figure out what I want to do with that. Mm-hmm. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, this is I'm not 100% set on his name, but I think this one's the one I'm going to name Jeremiah. Part of me kind of wants to do that because this is supposed to be one of the kind of bad guys that's trying to help make this whole thing with the Lycan blood god happen. I just don't know. Your photograph. Oh, it serves you well. I don't know. The name sounds too wholesome. Okay. Actually, Marcus would probably be a better sounding name. Marcus kind of sounds kind of cool. Marcus. Yeah, I like Marcus better. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is a big double page spread. I haven't drawn a big double page in a long time, so. Well, 46 hours to go. 97 backers. A little over 8K. Oh, man, I hope we can hang on to that lead. Man, I hope. Yeah, I kind of like the way he looks. Kind of a little bit of Bernie Wrightson kind of throwback with some of the shading here. God, man, that dude was a badass, man. Straight up badass. The most talented, in my opinion, artist ever. What's up, Imperium Collectibles? Imperium, make sure you share the link in this video to your page or whatever for what you guys do. What's up, Case? I mean, dude, any of them. What's up, Jason? What's up, everybody? Dude, any of them are fun. Werewolves and vampires will always be my favorite, but I mean, demons are a blast to draw. And what makes these things really and truly, I changed him. It was going to be Jeremiah, but his name's going to be Marcus. The thing that makes, that makes a lot of this so much fun to draw is there's no set rule to it. So, werewolves can come in all types of design concepts and ideas. I mean, there's a basic concept, but overall you can kind of bend the rules to suit whatever you're trying to do. The same with lichens, the same with vampires, whether you're doing a more, sinister looking vampire or a more sexy looking vampire. I mean, there's no real solid rules. It's not like I'm drawing Superman or I'm drawing Batman and the only variation is the style at which I draw them. I can, and that's one of the reasons I love drawing the Bat Who Laughs so much, and I love drawing Venom so much, is because there are no set parameters that has to be exact across the board. Bernie Wrightson. Bernie Wrightson. He was an incredible artist from the like the 70s and 80s or something, 60s, 70s, and 80s. He used to do a lot of horror style stuff, and look Bernie Wrightson up. If you don't know who Bernie Wrightson is, look him up. He's incredible. He passed away a handful of years ago. But yeah, so I mean that's why I love drawing Venom so much. Even though there's kind of a core way he looks, you can kind of push it to the extremes for the most part, however you want. And the same thing applies to drawing and lichens and vampires and zombies and demons and all this stuff. There's so many ways you can do it that you don't have to be bottlenecked into, okay, it's got to be A, B, C, and D in order for it to be this character. Because I mean, you can do werewolves bulky, you can do them skinny style, you can do them giant mauls, or you can do them more humanoid than beast. So they're really all fun to draw. Werewolves and stuff will always be probably my favorite, like werewolves and vampires and that kind of thing. But all of it's fun. Probably the one it'd probably be easier to name like my least favorite. And my least favorite to draw, which is kind of odd since they're for the 10 years. It was the hottest thing on the damn market. Is zombies. I find zombies. I mean, of course, now something as silly as Ghost, that's boring as shit to me. Which is why I don't know if I've ever even drawn them. But I don't do zombies very often. Every once in a while, I might do a zombie here or there, and that's about it. Like, to me, they're just kind of boring. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you can get detail heavy with them and really push that gore level and stuff like that, no doubt. But I don't know, just and it's just the zombie mythos really never really interested me that much. I've read Walking Dead, I've watched Walking Dead, I've watched Night of the Living Dead, I've watched 28 Days or 28 or whatever it's called. I've watched tons of zombie movies just because I'm a horror fan. But as far as like drawing them, like I just never really cared for them. Another one I probably find is fun to draw, that I don't get requests for very often. Of course, that's any of the Universal monsters, which is another reason why I'm doing Cycle of the Blood Moon, because it's got a mixture of all that kind of stuff put into the storyline. Is characters like the Frankenstein monster or Creature from the Black Lagoon, like those are fun to draw too. And sadly, nobody really asked for any of those. I mean, really and truly, most in the art world, most people don't really ask for horror characters. And I think that's why people are getting so damn excited about Cycle of the Blood Moon, because it hits so many nerves with the different types of characters that's in the book, from the lichens to the werewolves to the vampires, to the demons and the angels, and and all these characters that are circling this storyline, because we haven't seen it. I mean, shit, Psycho Sal was one of the first serial killer horror style comics that we've seen in a while, that wasn't about TNA or some shit like that. So even Psycho Sal kind of broke the mold a little bit. I mean, I'm sure there's probably one or two sprinkled running around somewhere that I just don't know anything about, But as far as being kind of more well-known in the well-known market, like I don't really know of any. Well, I mean, well, the one major ass reason you don't have a lot of horror comics, there was a lot of horror comics back in the 60s and 70s. And then somewhere, actually, I can tell you exactly when it happened. Okay, you can't really do horror comics without pushing the envelope. Okay, that's the first thing. That's why horror comics are hard to do. Everything about a horror comic matters, from the design, the layout, and everything, to the lighting, to the texturing, to the color, to the art, to the story. Every inch of a horror comic matters, whereas superhero shit, you can get away with a lot of stuff that don't really matter. Hey, what's up, Sean? Thank you, brother. Yeah, this is a big 2-page spread, Sean. So where we lost horror was when the comics code was implemented. So back in the early 80s or whenever that was, late 70s, whenever they introduced the comics code, that gutted pretty much any horror comics, because pre-code we had a lot of horror comics, and even after the code we had a few here or there, but most companies, because their uppity ass attitude, and they always look down on horror, even to this day. Some companies still look down on horror. Movie people look down on horror with and shit. So it created a smaller niche market, which means that companies didn't want to take a chance on it, because selling superhero shit is easy, because you're selling it to kids, you're selling it to adults, you're selling it to everyone. Horror kind of only it only has a smaller niche market in general. And then even inside the horror community, each one is a smaller genre, because you may have people that are werewolf fans, but they're not vampire fans. So they're not going to go buy vampire books and vice versa, and et cetera, et cetera. So that's where you lost a lot of it, was the comics code. And then comic editors and stuff not wanting to do it because they wanted to go the easy route of doing hero comics. So horror got pushed to the side. I mean, Jesus Christ, then you flash forward to the 90s and, the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, and none of the companies wanted to touch horror because their excuse was horror doesn't sell. Bullshit. Horror sells tremendously. There's a major market for horror. I mean, look at Psycho Sal. Psycho Sal even proves that horror sells, and it's a one indie guy and his team creating a damn horror comic, and look how well Psycho Sal does. So there's definitely a market, and but they still had that snobby ass mentality that, oh, horror doesn't sell, we don't want to mess with it, we don't want to hear your ideas, we don't want anything to do with none of it. And and then we creep forward, and now we have what's his name going to Image Comics trying to pitch Walking Dead. And of course, immediately they shut him down with the exact same wording. Horror doesn't sell. We're not going to do horror. We have no interest in it. Do you got something else? Oh, thank you, Casey. And I mean, even what's his name had to lie to them and tell them, oh, no, it's not really a horror comic. It just has zombies in it, these dead people, but it's about aliens. And later on in the book, you'll find out what happened and how the aliens caused all this to happen to try to wipe out the thing. So sci-fi is an easier thing to pitch than horror. So what's his name that created Walking Dead straight out lied to them, telling them that Walking Dead was more of it was a sci-fi book based on aliens, and this is just a story to get to that part. And of course, fans ate Walking Dead up because we hadn't had any good horror in a long time, and that was a legit horror comic pushing the envelope. It wasn't bottled up, bottlenecked by the restrict bullshit rules of Marvel and DC. It was Image Comics who were known for pushing the envelope. So Walking Dead blew up majorly. And, and then eventually later on, after years of the TV show, he finally tells Image Comics when he's winding down the book, and they're like, hey, where's the aliens? And he's like, oh, well, I lied to you about that. But that kind of kickstarted it. So we started seeing a little bit more horror pop up. And, then, Image started dumping out more horror. You had Ice Cream Man, you had Haha, you had books like that. And then you had other companies dropping stuff like Something's Killing the Children. Then you had like Stray Dogs come along. That's, about dogs, but it has to do with a serial killer. So those started opening doors and doing major sales. And then all of a sudden Marvel and DC wants to jump on the bandwagon. So you get Marvel versus zombies, that pops back up. And in the DC world, you get Deceased, and you get DC versus vampires, and all this shit. And now, even in the indie market, you're starting to see a little bit more horror pop up also. So it's always been a market for it. It's just nobody wanted to take a chance on it. And like I said, I think that's why Psycho Sal has done so well, is because we do put 150% into it. We do quality art, we do quality printing, we do quality story writing, we do quality characters, and it's been a big hit with the fans. But also part of that is because there's fans craving more horror stuff. And then also, like I said, with Cycle of the Blood Moon, I think that's why people are already latching on to this book. And we haven't even written the first damn page yet. I've got some of the overview written out, but we haven't even written the first book. I've already got, to get people excited, I've already got about 5 or 6 of the characters already designed. This is another one of the characters, one of the really evil Lycans that's in the book, Marcus. And so, like I said, I think that's why people are latching on to the concept of Cycle of the Blood Moon, is because it's another one of those things that's hitting a niche market that nobody's done in a long time. I mean, I don't even remember, really and truly, I can't even think of the last time I saw a good vampire comic or werewolf comic or anything like that. I've seen some okay ones, but I've not seen any, definitely none on this level. I mean, and again, that's not me trying to toot my horn. You guys have seen the videos. You've heard me talk about the storyline and how involved it is and how difficult it's going to be to try to put it inside a damn, 20, 25 page comic. That it's something that really and truly probably needs to be more of a novel. Like, it's like this book is just ridiculously involved. And with so many characters being at the forefront of the stories. But I want it to be a comic because I want it to be visually, because the characters are too damn cool, in my opinion. They are, and it's going to be fun, exposing you guys to all these characters. But yeah. I mean, it's there's always been an opportunity for horror comics. It's just it's been one of those things that people have kind of shot it down every time somebody tried to go to them, with an idea. So we'll see. I mean, I know this book's going to do well. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind. There's too much already pre-hype and pre-excitement from you guys as fans that, for this one to not do well. So I'm super excited about, about this one. I mean, I love Psycho Sal and I've had a blast with it, but this is my bread and butter, werewolves and vampires and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, so we'll see. It's definitely one of those things that that I'm super excited to get out to you guys, and we're hoping, is that not my dark one? Oh, of course it's not. No wonder that was light. That's the one I meant to be sharpening, but yeah, it's definitely. Yeah, I mean, it is. There's a lot of stuff you can do with horror that you can't do with superhero comics. I mean, the crazy thing is, even though we're in a world where the majority of people are, buying, majority of people buying comics are, adults. I mean, it's not even really that many children buying comics these days, but yet we're still trying to make comic books, for kids. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I wish more kids would read comic books. And there are some that do, of course, but the majority is adults. And there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, this guy's looking cool. And this one, if you'll notice, this one's a little bit more of a. He's a little bit more of a throwback to like the way the werewolf looked in Silver Bullet. The movie from the 80s with Corey Haim in it that was based off of Stephen King's Cycle of the Werewolf. That's actually a really good book if you guys have not read that book, by the way. And that one has Bernie Wrightson's illustration in it. About every so many pages, Bernie Wrightson was doing the artwork for it, which is really damn cool. So there's definitely a market for stuff. You just got to find the crowd, and I know that's definitely easier said than done sometimes because it's so hard to get eyes on, especially if you're an indie creator. It's so damn hard to get fresh eyes on your product because Kickstarter only reaches so many people, and Facebook only reaches so many people, and Instagram, etc. Everything gets buried, in the algorithms and stuff like that, so. Kind of creating a mid-tone, around those light spots. But, let's see, what time is it? 2. Yeah, definitely check out Bernie Wrightson. Oh my God, dude, he's one of the all-time greats. In my and especially when it comes to horror. He did a lot of horror stuff. He has a very dark, gritty style that's very, very, very insanely detailed. Oh my God, there's it was just ridiculous how many lines he put in a piece. I mean, everything in his drawings had lines on them. Lines going different directions to create illusions of depth and things like that. Oh my God, dude. Yeah, if you ever want to see somebody and you want to see what legit above and beyond looks like of what's necessary, Bernie Wrightson is it. Holy Jesus on a cracker. I mean, let me see if I can, because he did artwork for Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, like a comic for that. I can't remember the name of the actual book, but let me find one and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Yeah, look at this shit. That's Bernie Wrightson. Holy shit on a handbag. And this right here is one of my all-time favorite pieces of his. This is one of my all-time favorites. Look at that shit, dude. Jesus Christ on a cracker. But you see look at the background with the way he does the headstone. So you're looking at the foreground, heavy blacks. He's using the white negative space to create an image for him, and then he's got the heavy blacks, all the line work, the feathering, etc. Then you look at the background with all the cross hatching and the feathering back there on the tombstones, all the lines going in different directions. I mean, this dude, holy Jesus, man, it's on a whole nother damn level. You know, he's drawn books like Swamp Thing and things like that. And I mean, he's just, holy Jesus. I mean, it's just one of those things that there will never, ever, ever, I don't, in this world, ever again, I think, be someone like Bernie Wrightson. I mean, the way he does this stuff, and I mean, like, look at this piece right here. Look at this piece right here to give you just a more well-known characters he may have done. Look at this. I mean, look at that shit. I mean, the dude, oh my God, dude. Yeah. That's Bernie Wrightson, man. And I almost got a chance to meet him a handful of years ago, like a good bit of years ago. Oh, hell, it's probably been a while. It's probably been maybe 10 years ago. But anyway, he was supposed to come to Memphis, Tennessee to be at Memphis Comic-Con, Memphis Expo. And I was finally going to get to meet him. I had my book that I was going to get him to sign, because I have that hardback of that Frankenstein book he did. And I have the book for Cycle of the Werewolf that he did for Stephen King, and I was going to get those signed for him. And then about, I don't know, 4 or 5 months or 3 months before the event, he got sick and he had to cancel. And then it wasn't like a year later he passed away. Yeah, that shit sucked. I mean, don't get me wrong, it sucked he passed away, because we lost, in my personal opinion, hands down, the best all-time comic artist ever, in my opinion. And I say that because, I mean, obviously I'm a little biased because I love dark, gritty, horror theme style stuff, but he's drawn tons of stuff. He's drawn, you know, images of Batman. He's drawn images of Superman stuff. Like I said, you can Google him. He's drawn all kinds of stuff. But I call him probably one of the top 3 all time, if not the number 1 of all time. And I don't think there'll ever, ever, ever be anybody on his level or even near his level. Like, I don't even think there's anybody 10 floors of his level. Now, people are incredible in their own right, you know, but I don't even give a shit if it's Jim Lee, and Jim Lee's my all-time favorite artist. I could lay a Bernie Wrightson next to a Jim Lee, and I'm telling you right now, I'll pick Bernie Wrightson art over Jim Lee, 10 times out of 10 every single day of the week, and no matter whether I'm sober or drunk. And I'm a massive Jim Lee fan. Jim Lee highly influences my art. But Bernie Wrightson, the level of detail that dude did, not on some pieces or this piece or this character, the level of detail and line work that he put on every single image he drew for published work was just ridiculous. I mean, lines on top of lines on top of lines. Oh my God. I mean, like that, like I said, you go look up this one image right here. You go look that shit up. There's so many artists that if they had to draw that image, including myself, would not have put anywhere near that stuff in there. It would have had a little bit of the foreground. It had a little bit of the background. It had the middle ground with Frankenstein and the Frankenstein's monster and a little bit of other stuff. But a lot of that stuff would not have been there, and then a lot of those lines would not have been there because it had been left up, to a colorist to kind of just add color and depth, and you would have skipped over the line work. And when I say that, I'm talking about all the feathering and the line work, like on the furniture, the background, the wood on the walls, I mean, it's just holy Jesus. I mean, just, oh my God, dude. I give my left nut to be a quarter good is what Bernie is. Jesus. So yeah. Yeah, dude, it's so much. It's so much work. Now don't get me wrong. I'm sure Bernie got paid well for what he did, but still though, it's so much insane work. The dude was a absolute badass. And like I said, I don't think anyone in history could touch it. I really don't. And I don't think there's anyone in the future that will touch him. I think Bernie was one of those artists that was one in a century for sure, if not one in an absolute existence. You know what I'm saying? Because I completely believe that. I believe he's definitely he's definitely one in a century artist, if not one in an entire existence. Like, I mean, I don't believe from now to the end of time we'll ever see anybody that does it like Bernie Wrightson. I just don't. Well, for one, because nobody has nobody really has the drive to do that much work into a single piece. Even though I put a lot of detail in my pieces, I mean, even when you look at, stuff like, even that amount of detail, obviously this is like 10, 11 hours worth of work on a half body. And that's a shitload of line work and detail, but there's still places I cut corners to save time. That, now obviously there's no background, but still just on this right here. I mean, if Bernie was doing something like this, holy shit, dude, he'd run circles around that shit, And I mean, I'm being extremely detailed with it being a personal project. And of course my niche, thing that I got more experience. I got way more experience drawing this shit in my lifetime than I ever do with superheroes. I mean, even though I've drawn more, and that's why this stuff looks so over detailed. That's why like the angels and demons look so over detailed, etc. The werewolf. That's why they look so over detailed, because this is the stuff I grew up drawing when I was a kid, all through my childhood, my teenage years, etc. Of young adulthood up until the point I quit drawing. This was the kind of stuff I drew. I really wasn't sitting around drawing Harley Quinn or drawing even Batman or drawing, Wolverine or Venom. I was drawing this stuff. So, even though I've been doing this professionally for the last 5 years, and 99% of what I've been drawing has been Superman, Batman, Joker, Harley Quinn, etc., superhero and villain stuff, it still doesn't even scratch the surface of the years upon years I spent drawing this stuff. So if you're ever curious why this stuff looks so overly insane detailed, because this is what I grew up, and this is what I, over my lifetime, have had more experience drawing than Batman or Wolverine or Venom or Harley Quinn, etc. Horror has always been, I mean, hell, even when you go look at stuff where I've drawn like, Michael Myers, or I've drawn Jason, even, any of that dark, creepy stuff, it stands out more than any of my hero stuff. Again, DC, Marvel, Image Comics, etc. And that's why when you see me draw The Bat Who Laughs, it tends to be more over the top and detailed. Or when I draw Venom, it tends to be more over the top and detailed, because it kind of falls, the way I draw them kind of falls in this world of fantasy and horror. Thank you, Sean. Yeah, it'll be up for grabs too. Oh, Sean, was I supposed to touch base with you yesterday, or am I supposed to touch base with you this coming Monday about the other one, the other werewolf? Because I'll be done with that other werewolf here real soon. But I couldn't remember if I was supposed to touch base with you the other day. I know we talked last week, but I couldn't remember if I was supposed to touch base with you this past Monday or this coming Monday. So let me know which one I'm supposed to do so I can get that to you before somebody. Oh, that was you sending me a thing. This one, Sean, is another character from Cycle of the Blood Moon. This is Marcus. He's one of the because the Lycans are technically good people, the houses, even though they're kind of like the human race. There's good Lycans and there's bad Lycans, just like there's good humans and bad humans. This is one of the legit, like, hateful, evil ass Lycans. He's one of the ones that's trying to help the witches resurrect the Lycan blood god. Yeah, this is a 2-page spread. So this is 22 by 17. This thing's huge. This thing's massive. This is now the reason I'm doing this one like this is because this will be an actual splash page where the other ones are character designs and maybe cover, used at some point. This is intentionally being drawn as a splash page that'll be in the center of one. That'll be a splash page in one of the books. So that's why this one's a little bigger. I knew I wanted to introduce Marcus this way, that because he's one of the guys that was around when they first tried to when they first awakened the blood god that 200 years ago. He was one of the ones that were there, and when they were losing the battle, he vanished when the Lycan, when the blood god, when he died, he vanished, and he's kind of been disappeared up until now, 200 years later, and now he's trying to help the witches in New Orleans, try to resurrect that blood god. So he's a big part of the story also. But I knew when I introduced him, I wanted to introduce him as a double-page spread in the book. So now the character designs and stuff, some of those will be used for covers, because I might as well use them for covers. They're, I think they're incredible. I've spent a lot of hours on some of these pieces, so I want to use them for something other than just character designs. What's up, Sadie? Yes, this will have a Kickstarter. Yep. Yeah, this storyline will happen somewhere around the first part of 2024, and it's going to be somewhere around 25-ish to 30 books. Like there's no end cap, really and truly. There's no end cap on this storyline. As long as you guys keep buying the supporting the Kickstarter for it, I'm going to keep pushing the story. Where Psycho Sal has a 10. On the first storyline, Psycho Sal has a 10 book run. Cycle of the Blood Moon doesn't necessarily have a cap because it's so damn layered with characters and storyline and perspectives and everything that needs to be told. I mean, really and truly, like I mentioned the other night, it should be a novel is what it should be. But but I'm going to do it as a comic. It's going to be a big ass comic. It's going to average probably around, 22, 24 pages a book. And then it's going to be at least 25 to 30 books minimum, if not more. Because, I mean, like I said, there's so much on this one that the characters are too badass not to share each one of their involvements in their storyline, because you're going to have flashbacks. You're going to see the Lycan War from 200 years ago. You'll see flashbacks to that where people are in freaking damn armor and and all this other stuff, fighting with wet swords and things like that. And you're going to see story parts that are taking place in heaven. You're going to see story parts that are taking place in hell between Lucifer and Abaddon. It's Cycle of the Blood Moon. You're going to have moments where you're going to see flashbacks to the war in heaven when Lucifer was cast out of heaven. You're going to see all kinds of shit with this book. Like I said, the whole point to this storyline is telling a giant epic ass tale that surrounds Lycans, werewolves, witches, vampires, demons, angels. I mean, pretty much I'm throwing everything at this that kind of, that I grew up with, the stories I love to hear about, the myths and the legends, the campfire stories as we call them. I want it to be that. I want it to be epic. I want this to be, my version of Lord of the Rings. You know what I'm saying? You know how that movie has so many characters in it, and each one of the characters are so in depth and so layered that you kind of have to tell it in a novel form in order to tell everybody's viewpoint and everybody's story. So we're going to do that with Cycle of the Blood Moon. And here I'll show you guys some of the characters that's already designed. So there's that is Lucifer in his what we call beauty shot. That's pre when he was cast out of heaven. And then of course this one right here. Hang on 1 second, let me find it. Hold on. Okay. And this is his demon form that I'm working on. So this one's full blown, hooved feet, reddish skin, giant horns, black wings that are burned with little drops of embers and stuff falling off of it. So I still got a lot of work to do on that one. This is Lucius. He's one of the main werewolf or lichens, not werewolves, because there are different in my book. Lichens are full blood, born this way. He's one of the lichens. Then can't remember what I named this guy. I got it written down in my book. But this is another one of the full blood born lichens. This is what one of the werewolves look like. Werewolves are, of course, half-bloods. They're humans that were bitten, by a lichen at some point for, some reason or another. So this is what one of those look like. And, of course, there's Abaddon, one of the fallen angels with Lucifer. Actually, he's called the Angel of Destruction is what he's actually called. But that's Abaddon. And then that's going to be one of the female demons that's in the book. So I got to finish her. I just got her laid out. And then this is one of the angels who's called a whisperer. And whispers, there's two types of whispers in this book. There's demon whispers and angel whispers. And they are people who, try to influence mankind to do, in her case, they try to influence mankind to do good deeds, to try to help people, try to be that conscience, so to speak, that sometimes you hear in your head that might be telling you to, to help someone. That's what whisperers are. So she loves mankind. She knows the potential they could have. And then I'm working on, you'll meet Gabriel, one of the angel Gabriel. You'll meet Michael. I'm working on Michael's piece. And then I'm working on, what the demon version of Whisperers, what they look like. But these are the ones I've just got laid out so far. I've also got to start laying out the designs for a couple of the vampires that are in the book. So, yeah, this is not your average comic book. This is so much damn work. There's a lot of work that goes into Psycho Sal, but this right here, this is like, I know, and I'm not saying I'm not saying that I'm as good as the, what's her name, the person that wrote Lord of the Rings or anything like that. I don't mean it like that. I just mean on a scale of epic and the massive scale of the characters and the story that has to go into it. This is like Lord of the Rings meets comic books. I mean, it's that big. All right, Casey, have a good day, man. But that's the only thing I could think of to compare it to, because when you look at Lord of the Rings, that's a major event. That's major storytelling. And, as far as I know, and I could, obviously I could be wrong, but as far as I know, I don't think there's a single comic book out there that's on this level. This is a whole nother ball game. Again, I'm big about breaking molds, and I'm big about the concept of doing shit that's never been done. Nothing like Psycho Sal has been done before, because of the way we wrote him and the way we broke the molds with that book. The perspective changes and things like that, and the way he is as a serial killer breaks the mold. That's never been done before. And then this right here, this type of tale, yeah, it's been told in novels, this type of level of characters and involvement, sure. And it's, I'm sure it's, may have been told in, trade paperback form or something, that's 5 or 6 issues of a book. Sure, probably. But I don't think it's been told this on this level. I gotta go finish his hands. I gotta figure out how I want to do his hands because I can't really decide. Because they look kind of weird if you just draw a fist. Like it has to be that kind of, like that kind of hand positioning kind of thing. So I'll do something like that. But anyway, like just those giant claws opened up. But anyway, but yeah, I think that's the only way I can explain it because, like I said, I wish I was a novelist. If I was, I'd just write a novel and I would use all these images I'm doing every few chapters, as the way Bernie Wrightson did with Stephen King and Cycle of the Werewolf. I just throw it in there as splash page pieces every so many chapters, but I'm not a novelist. I have no clue how to write a novel. And, and it's easier, it's easier for me to give my notes per comic book to a comic writer and have them write a script than it is. Well, I don't know if it is or not. I'm assuming then it would be to find somebody that could write a full blown, 300-page damn novel. I don't know, but I want to see it in comic book form. Again, it breaks a mold. It's something that I've never seen. I mean, the most epic shit you ever see in comics is when there's some big storyline from Marvel or DC, and that's it. And even then, it might be 20 books or something like that. I've never, ever, ever seen or heard of anything on this scale in the indie market. I mean, this is a major investment for a creator to do something on this level. This will be a make or break person project. I'll either do book 1 and you guys go through the damn roof with excitement and blow it up in Kickstarter to where I can keep the ball going, or it'll be the last straw on it and it won't happen any farther than issue 1 because this is going to be on a whole nother level compared to Psycho Sal. This one's going to be more involved artistically. It's going to be more involved story driven wise. So every aspect of this one's going to be extremely larger scale than what Psycho Sal was. So many characters, so many strings floating around. You know what I mean? But anyway, guys, I'm going to get off here and take a break for just a few minutes. I'm going to go grab some food and something to drink. Try to figure out what the hell I'm going to do with his hands. Like I said, I don't know. I mean, more like it's probably going to be kind of like that kind of thing or something, that classic monster hand looking thing. Because I don't want to do fists. That doesn't really look right on these types of creatures. But anyway, thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thank you guys for listening to me ramble. I'm sure I may go live again later today. I'm not sure. But if I don't, happy Thanksgiving to everyone tomorrow. I hope you have a wonderful time with your family. I'll probably be working tomorrow. We're going to do our Thanksgiving on Sunday with my daughters and their mom and stuff like that on Sunday. But yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope you have a great time with your friends and family. Make sure you guys spend a lot of quality time as much as you can. Again, if you haven't backed Psycho Sal, please make sure you go back it. If you have backed it, please don't back out on us. We're down to the last 40 hours. We're just barely over the $8,000 stretch goal. So everybody stay strong with your backing. Don't back out on us. Don't adjust your backing to something lower and knock us below the 8,000. Because right now, everybody gets the $8,000 stretch goal, which is a Psycho Sal koozie, which I really want. So hang in there. Don't back out on us. Don't drop your backing if you can avoid it, please. Let's hang on to that 8,000 because we're only like $59 over it. If we drop under that 8,000 stretch goal, nobody gets a koozie. That's just how Kickstarter works. You have to stay above the stretch goal, all the way until the Kickstarter close. The Kickstarter has to close out above the stretch goal in order for you to get the stretch goal. it has to close out at 8,000 minimum in order to get the $8,000 stretch goal. So hang in there, guys. Don't bail on us. And I promise you're going to enjoy everything that comes with the Kickstarter. We did some cool stretch goals on this one. But yeah, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. Enjoy your family, and I will talk to you guys later. Thanks again, guys, for all the support. I appreciate it.